As you can see on the second page, number 9 and number 10 are just like 7 and 8. However, we are working with fifths instead of an even denominator, like fourths or sixths or eighths. So this one takes a little bit of reasoning. We can use our fraction bars to help us think about this one. I know that it would take 5 pieces to make a whole, 5/5. Can we divide 5 by 2 evenly? If we try to find that halfway point, it's right in the middle, and we can't split fifths up evenly. Now we could cut that piece in half, but then the size of the piece has changed, so this wouldn't be fifths anymore. So we really just memorize that 3/5 is greater than a half and 2/5 is less than the half. So that's what I'll go ahead and write, is 2/5 is less than 1/2. And if I'm thinking about how to explain that, I might just say something like 1/2 of 5 is between 2 and 3. And we could see that with the fraction pieces, is it was right after the 2 pieces. It was in the middle of that third piece. So I can just say 2 pieces are a little less than 1/2. Go ahead and pause the video, work on number 10, and then we'll do a few of these together. We'll start on number 11. 3/6 compared to 1/2. Now we know that 3 pieces out of 6 pieces, that is equal to a half. That's equivalent. So we can put an equal sign. Number 12, 2/8 compared to 1/2. I know that if I have 4/8, that's equal to a half. And if you would like to, you can even cross that out and write 4/8. I know that 2 pieces is less than 4 pieces, so that would be less than. Take a look at number 13, 2/3 compared to 1/2. And thirds are a lot like fifths. They cannot be divided evenly by 2. The halfway point is right in the middle of the second piece. I could draw a picture to show that. You can see that 2/3 is just over the halfway point. So 2/3 is greater than 1/2. Looking at number 14, we have 4/10 compared to 1/2. Think about how many tenths it takes to make 1/2. If you're using fraction bars, that's great. You might have it memorized that 1/2 is equal to 5/10. So I know that 5/10 is just 1 piece more than 4/10. So 4/10 is less than 5/10. As we come down to number 15, we have 1/2 compared to 4/5. Up here we said that 2/5 is just slightly less than a half. 3/5 is a little bit bigger than the half. 4/5 is almost a whole, so you can start thinking about that as well. 4/5 is so close to a whole. 3/5 is really closer to the half. So we can go ahead and say 1/2 is less than 4/5. And again, you can always check your work by drawing pictures or using your fraction bars. That's kind of uneven. So 1, 2, 3, 4/5, and then the half. You can see that 1/2 is less than 4/5. This is similar, 1/2 compared to 5/6. We have 6 and 5 of those pieces. That's really close to a whole. I also know that 1/2 is equivalent to 3/6. So now I can easily tell 3/6 is less than 5/6. So 1/2 is less than 5/6. Number 17. 1/2 compared to 2/2. 2/2 is equal to a whole. So 1/2 is definitely less than a whole. One of those pieces is less than 2 of those pieces. And number 18, we have 1/2 compared to 6/12. What do you know about 6/12? 6/12 is equal to 1/2. Those are equivalent fractions. Let's go ahead and jump down to number 25. We have 4/10 compared to 3/6. And hopefully when you see 3/6, you recognize something special about 3/6. 3/6 is equivalent to 1/2. I can think about 4/10, and especially because the denominator is 10, how many tenths does it take to make 1/2? If you're thinking 5/10, you're right. It's 5/10 equals 1/2. So now I can easily compare. 4/10 is really super close to a half, but it is one piece smaller, so it is less than the half. Let's go ahead and look at number 33. 3/4 compared to 6/12. What do you know about 6/12? That's equal to 1/2. And then think about 3/4. How many fourths does it take to make a half? 2/4 is equal to a half, so I can write that over here. 3/4 is just one piece bigger than 2/4. So 3/4 is greater than 6/12. In 4th grade, we start to learn about fractions that have a denominator of 100. So I don't have 100 little pieces that I can show you. So think about 100. If you have 100 pennies, or in other words, if you have $1, what is half of $1? What's half of 100 pennies? 50 pennies or 50 cents is half of $1. I can show that with addition. 50 plus 50 equals 100. What is 100 divided by 2? I would get 50. 2 times 50 is 100. So 50 100ths, that is actually equivalent to 1/2. And then what do you know about 2/4? 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2. So these fractions are actually equal. They are equivalent. If I did have hundredths and fraction bars, this would be the same exact amount. Can you imagine how small those pieces would be? So that's how we compare fractions to 1/2. After you're finished with this side of the page, please check your work with the answer key.